Welcome to the VarsityKansas.com Big Show. I'm Joanna Chadwick of the Wichita Eagle and VarsityKansas.com. And my guest today is Mulvane softball coach Charlie Mason. Coach, thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me. I enjoy coming here, and anytime we can talk about softball, that's a great thing.
That's great. Well, let's talk about your team. Your team is, again, a team that we need to be watching out for. Tell me a little bit about it. What are your expectations for the year?
Well, we every year we have two goals, and that's to win the league and get to state. Salina is my wife's hometown, so we like to get back to Salina, and so those are the goals that we have, and we've won the league 4 years in a row, and so hopefully we can do it again this year.
Talk a little bit about pitching with you guys. You had a nice junior pitcher in Haley Hayes. She got a win for you guys over Augusta on Thursday in your opener. Talk a little bit about how strong the pitching is for you guys.
Well, you know, our success the last few years has been due to our pitchers. We've had some really, really great pitchers, and fortunately we've been able to have them for like 3-4 years at a time, and that makes it pretty easy when you don't have to scramble for them. You know, there was a time when we couldn't find one, and now we have two really good JV pitchers, and then we got our two pitchers up on the varsity, and Destiny Donaldson and Haley Hayes.
And what do they do well? Is it just the mixture of pitches?
Well, Destiny's a little bit more of a power pitcher, and she's pretty dominant, and then Haley moves the ball. She does a really good job of moving the ball around and hitting her spots, and that's what helped her the other day.
Well, I mean, to shut out Augusta, a very good hitting team, 5-0. I mean, was she just on her game?
Well, I told her, I said, you know, I can't remember one time when she was ahead of the batter, but we had a plan in mind, and we stuck to that plan, and it worked real well for us.
You know, pitching in softball is very interesting to me because I don't know if there's another sport that you could say where one player can so affect the outcome of a game through the entire course of the game. I mean, obviously a quarterback is important for football, but even a baseball pitcher, I mean, they use multiple pitchers, but you got kids throwing complete games consistently. How much is success tied into the pitcher?
Well, I think the game of softball, you know, it centers around pitching. If you don't have a dominant pitcher, you're not going to be very successful. And it's just amazing, you know, what the pitching can do.
Right. Talk a little bit then with, at catcher, you have Bailey Holt, who has signed with WSU. Obviously a very talented player, all-Metro pick last year. What is it that she brings to the game that makes her so special?
She just has a love for the game. She enjoys being out there, and she has a knowledge. You know, she's a coach on the field, and of course, being a catcher, you kind of have to be that. She can see the whole field in front of her, and she just knows what to do, and you know, she just makes the right decision in just about every situation.
Talk a little bit about also the kid who you say can basically play any position for you. I mean, she's not necessarily locked into being a catcher at WSU either, is she? No,
she's a great infielder. We kind of go a different type of thing where we go work 7-on-7 on 7, and we play different positions, and she loves to be in the outfield, and Saturday she was working at first base, so she can pretty much just step in anywhere there is.
Okay, so you guys, we're taping here on Monday at KSN, and it's extremely windy today. Thursday was ridiculously windy. How is that helping or hurting you guys?
Well, if the wind's blowing in on some of the fields, it's a help to us because some of the teams have a lot more power than we have. But you know, it's there for both teams, and it was a struggle Thursday because the wind changed directions 4 times.
You're kidding.
And fortunately, in the first game, it changed and started to blow out a little bit, and we were able to get one over the fence. And of course, they did the same thing in the second game. So, the wind play, you know, the wind's a dominant thing in softball too.
That's crazy. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about the Ark Valley Chisholm Trail League. Such a good softball league from top to bottom. How tough is it to play in that league every year, and how good does it make you?
Well, you have to be on the top of your game to play in our divisions because everybody's good. You're having more and more kids that are playing at a high level during the summer, and that's transferring to the high school teams. And there's just I think right now, according to Rivals.com, I think we in our area, I think we have 6 teams that are ranked in the state.
That's outstanding. And it really makes you tested, though, doesn't it, by the time you get to state?
Oh yeah, it's a lot like Topeka Hayden playing in a city league in Topeka. They may have a 500 record, but they're always going to be a dominant team when it comes time for the playoffs because of who they play against.
That's right.
And we're not gonna see too many things different than what we see in our league.
Talk a little bit then about the split with 4A, because one of the issues with Class 4A softball is that this area is so strong in softball that you guys continually hit up against each other in regionals. So how does the split into 2 divisions in 4A really help you?
Well, for one thing, we play one less game, and that could make an awful lot of difference when it comes right down to it, especially if your pitching is limited to maybe one pitcher. They're used to throwing 2 games a day, and so they can turn around and they can do that, and so it's very beneficial to us in that situation. In the other one, it kind of splits us up a little bit, so that some of the dominant teams aren't all in the same area.
Yeah, I mean, I know that's been one of the frustrating things. I don't know if we see it happen with more sports than that's more obvious in softball. I know everything is based on geography, and you guys kind of got a little bit. I mean, you had to go to Independence last year, but you still had similar teams in there, didn't you? Mm-hmm. I mean, it didn't help you. You just had to drive farther, right? Well,
we drove further, but it did help us because we had 3 different teams in there, and of course we ended up playing 2 of them, and that's always good. I like to play different people. So it helped us a little bit, but splitting it up allows more of our teams, our league, to be represented.
And is that important too, is to represent not just Mulvane, but the entire league?
Oh, definitely. Everybody wants to tout that their league is the best, and there's a lot of competition between Southeast Kansas and the Wichita metro area, and so anytime that we can get a step up on them, then that's a good thing.
Well, good. Well, Coach, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it, and good luck to you this season.
Thank you very much.
All right.
I enjoy being here.
I'm glad to hear that. All right, well, look for a feature on Bailey Holt in Friday's Wichita Eagle and on VarsityKansas.com. It is going to be an interesting weather week. We had a lot of wind last week. I covered Bishop Carroll and Heights baseball on Thursday, and it was so windy, and as soon as that sun went down, it was so cold. But it was a great night for opening baseball, although there was a little fascinating drama there in the beginning when Keelan Kilgore, pitcher from Heights, with a foul ball, smashed one of the stadium lights. So that was a little bit fascinating, but it was a good start to the season nonetheless. We've got track preview ran in the Wichita Eagle on Sunday. We've got swimming going this week. I mean, everything is in full gear. We've got golf going. So make sure to check out those previews in the Wichita Eagle and at VarsityKansas.com. And of course, we'll be out covering games. We've got the Titan Classic starting this week in soccer, so check for that, as well as baseball and softball coverage. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.